Hey guys, and welcome to the first episode of a new series that I'm working on. I've done some reviews in the past, but this is going to be kind of like a months later review. Most people, when they do reviews, they will do it immediately upon unboxing something. So in the past, I did an unboxing of the Steam Link. That was a few months ago, and now I'm going to tell you my thoughts on that in this series, this new series of we'll call it like months later thoughts or something like that. So I'll come up with a name that's better than that. But I'm going to tell you my thoughts on this and whether or not I think it's worth purchasing for you guys. So before I get into that, the idea behind the Steam Link is you are purchasing a kind of like a Steam box that will allow you to connect your computer that you play games on to a TV in a different room or in the same room, and do kind of like sharing over your network, where the game is not actually playing off the Steam Link. It is just it's playing on your main computer, and the Steam Link is translating those button presses, the sound, as well as the video to the TV, so that you don't have to sit in front of possibly a small monitor. You can hook it up to a bigger TV, that kind of thing. That's the idea behind the Steam Link. Now, the good thing about that is, I mean, it functions. It works fine. And it's only $50. So if you're looking into building like a Steam machine or buying a Steam machine, you're looking at multiple hundreds, even up into the thousands of dollars, where this thing will do a decent job of it for $50. That's where I get into my review. Now, I've had this set up for probably 2 or 3 months, probably even more longer than that, and I've played it on a regular basis a couple times a week. I have it hooked up downstairs on a bigger TV, and my main computer will play the game, and then through the network connection, wired network connection, it will translate video, sound, all my button presses, and all that kind of thing, as well as control of Steam, while Steam is in big picture mode on my computer up here. So, that being said, the Steam Link does a very good job of this. It translates that all over. There's little delay if you have a gigabit LAN, which most people are getting into, but they may not have right now. It works with a 10x100 LAN, but it's better when you have gigabit, when you have that 1,000 megabyte bandwidth there. And that only needs to be LAN. That's not your internet connection. That is just LAN, because the internet connection is connected to your main computer. Now, that's where I get into some of the nuances. Let me go into what I find annoying first before I go into what is good and whether or not you should even look into buying something like this. So, with the Steam Link, when it's hooked up to your computer or hooked up to your TV downstairs, it does have 3 USB slots to plug in various things, keyboard, mouse, controller, that kind of thing. I have it set up where I don't have a keyboard and mouse hooked up. I just use, like for instance, I just use an Xbox 360 controller, mainly for playing like Rocket League or something like that. It's something where I don't need to use I don't want to use keyboard and mouse setups when I'm playing on the Steam Link. I want to be able to just use a controller like it's a gaming system. The problem is if for whatever reason Steam crashes. So on my main computer, big picture mode is on, which is fine because I'm downstairs. I'm not using my main computer. If it's the only computer in your house, then you're taking up the computer as well as the TV, and that can be annoying. But in my situation, I have my own computer, so it doesn't matter. The big picture mode is playing while I'm on the Steam Link. The problem is if Steam crashes for whatever reason, an update comes through, your computer something happens on your computer, like an update for Windows pops up and it shrinks down big picture mode. If you don't have a keyboard and mouse hooked up to it, it can be very annoying and frustrating to gain control just using a controller. So having a wireless mouse or a wired mouse and keyboard off to the side when you need it, or even just a mouse, would be fine. But I don't want to have that set up on my TV downstairs. I just want to be able to fire up and play my game. So that's the first thing, is when something happens in Steam or the computer, you lose control and you have to run back up here and you have to mess around with it. Or run to the other room and you have to mess around with it. The other thing is I've been having issues with sound. For some reason the sound is not transferring properly. And that is a combination of settings within Steam and settings within your computer. If you have multiple outputs or multiple different outputs, and then it just gets crazy, stuff gets muted, and then you don't have any sound on the Steam Link. It can be fixed. You just got to know what you're doing and mess around with it a little bit, change some settings, make sure that stuff is done. But that's a lot of preloaded work that I have to do that I don't want to. I want to be able to just turn it on, fire it up, and play the game and be done with it, like you would with a console. So that's another downside of this. Let me see if I can put this, boop, right there. Awesome. So that kind of the problem areas that I found using the Steam Link. Some of the good things are, I mean, it functions fine, with the exception. Excuse me. It functions fine to transfer like Rocket League. There's a little bit of latency, but not enough so that it affects your ability to play the game without problem. Some of the higher end Twitch shooters, like if you're very competitive into CS:GO or whatnot, it's not the situation that you're gonna want, because you're gonna have a little bit of latency that's gonna mess you up. So that's one thing to keep in mind. The other thing is, I mean, the price, $50 is ridiculously cheap when you're looking at something that can transfer your video and your sound from your computer to another TV so that you can use it kind of like in a console setup situation. So that's always good. The other thing that's really, really good is when I'm using obviously they make the Steam Link controller, the Steam controller, that just integrates with the Steam Link fine, perfectly. It just fires up and goes. I use an Xbox 360 controller, a wireless one. Obviously wired would just plug in USB, would be fine. But the thing that's so awesome is this is the wireless connector for the 360 controller. This is not Microsoft brand. This is some Chinese brand. It was like $5. To get it to work on my computer is a pain in the butt. There's so many drivers you have to mess around with, and sometimes it just stops working, and I have to go into the device manager, tinker around, and flip some switches, and then it starts working again. With the Steam Link, I plugged it into the USB, I turned it on, the Steam Link goes, oh, I just found this dongle attached to me, and now I got drivers installed, everything works. The controller fires up and goes, it works. Steam Link just is like, hey, I know this is here, and I'm going to go. It makes it very, very simple to get that kind of thing set up. Now, in the situation of, like in my situation, I have multiple monitors with the one in the middle being the biggest. In the future, up above those monitors is going to be a TV that's going to be for like YouTube and certain games like Rocket League. The Steam Link isn't going to be useful in that situation. You're just going to want to be able to, you just want to put and you can see the TV right here. This is going to be on the wall above everything. I'll just make this monitor the one that plays Rocket League, not use the Steam Link. So once that's up, unless I'm going to play like Rocket League with my wife, where I'm going to be playing 2-player and we want big screens, we go downstairs in the living room, it's not going to be very useful. So keep that in mind. The other thing is when I play, like for instance, I have World of Warcraft in Steam so that I can fire it up through the Steam Link. The little changes in the mouse they over exaggerate sometimes, and and that's the network, whatever. That could be a problem. But if you're looking for a setup that is cheap, you can put like a racing game or like a sports game or like a puzzle game that's going to translate down to your TV. You can sit back on your couch. You have your controller or possibly a wireless mouse and keyboard, and you're just going to sit back and you're going to play. This thing is going to do it, and it's going to do it very well. Just keep in mind those things that I talked about that were kind of annoying to me. They may not be annoying to you. You might not bother you. But as for, would I suggest this if you're in that situation where you're just going to want to sit on your couch on a big screen TV and play your puzzle game or whatever, or something that's not going to be like a high action Twitch reaction shooter or gaming thing, then yes, definitely 100% I would recommend this, and $50 is a decent price point for that. The Steam controller, maybe not so much, depends on your use for it, but the 360 controller works just fine. This is my Fable 360 controller. The Xbox One and PS4 controllers will also hook right up to this and it'll work fine. The one I have yet to try is I've heard rumors of the Wii U, the big controller, that connecting to this and working, and I'm gonna try that out because I'm kind of interested in that. Possibly the Pro controller for Wii U as well. Excuse me. But hopefully this was useful to you. Like I said, there's people that do these unboxings, they do these reviews, they use it for 5 minutes, and then they're like, yes, definitely $50, buy it. I did an unboxing, I did an initial thoughts, and now I'm doing a month later review. I've used this multiple times a week for the last 2 or 3 months, possibly more. I can't even remember when I got it. And in my expert, I don't even know the word. Forgot the word. I would recommend getting this if you're not going to be using it as your main source of gaming, or you have, say, like Rocket League is a pretty quick-paced game. But if you have puzzle games or like possibly like Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 9 just came out on Steam, those games would be great on the Steam Link because you're going to be sitting in front of a bigger screen. It's going to translate to it. It's going to be great, and you'll enjoy it. So hopefully this was useful to you. Hopefully my experience with, that's the word I was looking for. Hopefully my experience with the Steam Link will help you decide in whether or not you want to pick this guy up and if it's going to be useful to you. So like always, guys, good luck and have fun. And see you next time.